Alright, I think I fixed it, folks. Like I said, still on a learning curve. I had it set right yesterday, and then today I seem to have messed it up. Yeah, I was on 720. In my experience, 720 doesn't work on our network. Um, Although yesterday we randomly received a new router for our house. I think I let an app renegotiate our uh, internet connection. I think they got us a discounted price, and I didn't realize, but it included receiving a whole new router. So that's great. Um, yeah, we shall see. Did the tags come up right on this? Yay, the tags came up right. Alright, carrying on. Nice. Seth, if you can hear me, yes, let's do that. What size frames? Talk to me. I'll give you a thumbs up here, and we'll talk about it later. Streaming now. Chat later. But yes, Seth, if you're there and you can hear me, I'd love to build the frames for you, or with you. Let's hang out and build, put on some masks, build some stuff, and talk some shit. Another buddy wants to come down from San Francisco to do the same thing. Um, why the hell not? Nothing better to do right now. Carrying on. I also do custom builds of things. If you have specific things, specific size things that you can't find a piece of furniture for, we can build in different kinds of wood. We can build as cheap as you like, or as expensive as you like. Um, yeah. Also, if you have furniture that needs a repair or something like that, a buddy of mine recently posted about. I don't know if you can hear me through that chopper that's going by. But yeah, a buddy of mine recently posted about how they had a broken crib for their new baby, and they couldn't get a leg for this crib. And it's like, man, if my shop had been set up, I could have just made you a leg. So if you got broken things or things that you're fixing, obviously if something's broken, it needs fixing, right? You want some shit built, let me know. Or if you want to come and build some shit with me, let me know. Can't do anything about the level of noise on this. I have it as low as possible, but alright, you gotta not screw up connecting this, otherwise you're gonna have a gap in the display case, which nobody wants. There might be a little one already just because of the finish on this salvage wood. We'll figure that out. Oh, that bad boy. See how that's come out. So yeah, I don't think I was going to be able to get rid of that gap completely. But the good news is, when you come at it from an angle, which most of my shots would be, and putting the extra piece on top allows me to come in from a higher angle, which is great for the shots. It means that gap's not going to be visible on the down or on the up if I decide to do up shots. But I don't think you do a lot of up shots when you're doing sales things. I haven't photographed a lot of stuff, so also on a learning curve there. But yeah. Oh, you know what? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Chaos agent. I'm gonna flip it. Right? Oh man. I didn't think of that. So when I first built the bottom piece, I built it so that the length stuff here would have the longest base. And now what I just thought about was flipping it so that this piece is that way around, but then what would that mean doing? I'm gonna leave it like this. Yeah, I don't know. I might get a few more of them, make a fake Christmas tree, and sell some shit at Christmas. Make a Christmas tree display case. Oh, I did not see those bad boys. Damn. There's a couple of nasty Lucy's up there. Thankfully, I got gloves on, but I don't know that I'll always have gloves on when I'm photographing things. So, they're just staples. Nothing major. There's the metals. The metals ball. Also doubles as a maraca in case you want to go out and busk. Not that I've busked in years, but I've busked. I have busked. I was, 17 years old? We just finished this group theater meeting in Switzerland. International schools try to keep all of the schools like in contact with each other and do like sports meets and round ball and all that shit. And naturally, the theater folk were like, "Hey, we do stuff." So we ended up having these really cool events where, I went to Stratford-upon-Avon, birthplace of old Willie Shakes, and I got to work with Royal Shakespeare Company um, members who taught us movement classes and elements of writing, and just a really fantastic opportunity. So one of those events like that happened in Switzerland, where I went to school, lived and grew up and went to school. I'm looking for another chalk, aren't I? So yeah, the theater thing had just happened, and a bunch of us kids were like, "Hey, we learned a song at the theater thing. We should go and sing it in the streets of Geneva." Now, anybody who's ever been to the streets of Geneva, the streets of Geneva, like it's a big old dangerous place, you will know that busking or performance work in the street, like, at least when I was growing up, it wasn't a big thing in Switzerland. So, cut to how many? It must have been like 25 of us. Where's my chalk bucket? There it is. It must have been like 25 of us on the street in Geneva. Your Post Cafe. Anybody that I went to high school will know exactly where that is. Over by Istanbul 2, the second kebab spot we used to go to. So we're all stood out in front of this thing, and we start, 20 kids randomly start singing this song. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, good night, sweetheart, good night. So we all had parts. We all had different parts to it. And I swear, we got through it maybe once before Swiss people looked at us like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" And then, no shit, the only money we made, somebody threw the 5 franc coin. In the States, you guys have bills, and only your things below $1 are in coin form, but most of the rest of the world does that a little differently and has coin form above that denomination. So I grew up with up to a 5 franc coin. It was only once it was 10 that it became a note. Somebody threw a 5 franc coin. Now, a 5 franc coin is like, it's bigger than a quarter for sure. Like, it's probably twice the weight of a quarter. It's got some heft to it. And somebody, like 5 floors up in the apartment block behind us, threw a 5 franc coin at us. And initially we were like, yay, we got something. And then they shouted, shut up! So that was one time I went busking. I also performed stage, like theater work. Oh, that's got a little nasty to it. Let's see if we can get that off. Yeah, I've performed plays in the street. That was an interesting occurrence. Well, wear 'em. Little cut. Don't leave your tools like that. I'm a chaos engine. I know this. It's difficult enough for me to manage to actually keep. This is organized. This is organized. He says as he loses a piece of fucking wood. I don't know if this is gonna work out how I want it to. Yes, it is. Use this one first so it brings that level up, and then put the second one on. Okay, everything's okay. There, that. Hey, look, I just found some more space. Okay, so yeah, if I pull that up and put each piece on individually, I think we're going to be in a good spot. Not that I was going to be able to put the pieces on anyway other than individually. Yeah, just like that. Where my clamps at? The clamps, clamp, clamp. Yes, it's a Futurama reference. And back end. Come on. Spans in this shit ain't fucking working. It's okay. That's the ticket. Clappy claps. I'd probably save battery on my drills and impact drivers if I didn't do this every time I pick it up. But it's a universal law that if you don't do that every time you pick it up, it doesn't work when you need it to. That was a joke. Glance. Yeah, so realistically, I gotta clear some more space. Over here. All day long, I hear things falling. Unless I hear a crash of some form when it goes, I just leave it until the end of the day. Because if it fell while I was working, it means I didn't need it. It's probably going to fall again. I'm just going to leave it there until later. Don't judge me. There's already a hole in this one. I think I'm going to try and use it. It's probably a nail hole because these are from pallets. I think these are from pallets. Ow! Thank fuck for gloves. I swear, man. Did I ruin them? Time for more duct tape? Not yet. I got 2 out of 3 on this end are duct taped. One was a drill bit, and then a little accident with that planer. If you do get a planer like that, the handheld ones, please be careful. Alright, Kiddlywinks. We got a double-legged base. Crash bang wallop. Okay. We need a longer chalk. I mean, if I were to put another piece, we can make this whole thing a little bit more secure. And I'm here, so I'm gonna do it. It's basically, it rocks forward, right? So if we take a little piece of this, the same wood, make sure it's actually gonna fit. Yeah, all right. I'll show you what we're gonna do. Hold up, though. Am I gonna ruin my? No, you just gotta lift it straight up. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, right in here. You guys see that? Basically, we're gonna put another piece of wood right here, so that it stops that whole piece from falling forward. Just giving it an extra little piece of protection. I'd hate to put something that I've made onto this to photograph it, and then for it to collapse because I screwed up. That'd be horrible. Hey, pencil. That's amazing. I usually can't find those. I might disappear for 5 minutes trying to find another one. This super small chalk. This there. And another one. The other side. Two simple chalks. I don't know if chalk is the right word. And when I say chalk, I'm saying it the English way. C-H-O-C-K, not chalk. I'm not talking about chalk or chalk. I'm talking about chalk. I love the English language. Some pop a screw, sorry, right through the top of that. And that should give us what we need. Oh, don't leave your phone hanging out by things that are heavy. Even if it's in a protective case. What? Yeah, I'm over here, sorry. So, you can see the difference. This is the side I haven't done yet. This is the side I just did. So we're basically extending the lock position, I suppose, is what we're doing. It's gonna hold up in place. That's good. Slipped forward right before the screw went in, and that's just gonna mess the whole thing up. Okay, let's see if it worked out. Hey, look at that. It's not going anywhere. So there you go. Now, I want to sell and showcase my glue bot. Not that I want to, because they ain't giving me any money or glue bots. I'll take a free glue bot. Well, no, I've got one. I don't need a free glue bot. So, let's shop it back right now. Looks pretty good. But yeah, if you zoom this in, maybe that a little more central. Ta-da, motherfuckers. Now we have enough height. I can take it further back or out if I need to. This is obviously just a Mevo camera, so it's not like, and it's not 3-point lit. There's no softboxes, anything like that. I'm looking at building a diffusion box. I have a bunch of leftover diffusion from a couple of film projects. So yeah, I figured why not use that to create a light box. Not that we're doing that today, but that's something we're gonna do coming up. All right, so there you have it. Display case. for $3.99. Well, not display case, but a photographing display case. But I mean, we could take the edges off of this, straighten the whole thing up. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do to this. I suppose I'm talking about making a light box. I could make this the base of the light box, but then what ends up happening if you do that is that you're restricted to like this patina. So as cool as this patina is, I might not want that patina for something else that I'm trying to sell. For example, if I make something that looks similar to the distress and finish on this from another piece of salvage wood, I can't photograph that on this because the whole thing is just going to be like blended. So instead of making a light box with a permanent thing that I throw covers over, I'd much prefer the idea of having a light box, like a 3-point lighting light box that's wide enough to fit something like this in it so that I can take photographs on this. But then, you never know what I'm going to get salvage-wise next month or the month after that. I might get a sweet piece of walnut or cherry or a slab of some form, and it's like, why not use that? And so instead of making this a permanent fixture light box, this will be an insert for a light box, just to clarify. And this might not seem, again, like fucking rocket surgery. Yes, I said rocket surgery. And let me throw a piece of felt over this bad boy. And then you have a black display case. It's still working. It's not a diorama, obviously, because trying to get that angle for the diorama would be seriously tough with a piece of felt. I mean, it's close, but the second you put something on that, it's going to affect. So yeah, it's a stand. A stand that you can put a cover over. But as I said, I don't want to make it the permanent base to my light box because I like to have options in terms of how we frame something. Not frame, but I don't want to use the wrong language because I'm about to build a frame. How we present something. How easy does this come out? For it to be tight, I have to like wiggle it to get it off, than for it to be loose and for it to fall on something. Okay. I'll take a second. See if everybody's saying hey on Facebook. Say hi back. I swear these gloves, they say that they're like usable for your phone. And they are. Like, you can answer a phone call. Don't try to type a text. Oh, nice. I just won a vintage microscope on eBay. It's the second one that I've been able to get a hold of for really super reasonable price. I'm going to turn those into lamps, which is kind of cool. I've made some lamps, like LED stuff, and I've been thinking for a long time about making different kind of steampunk lamps. I think it's really cool to take something that's like a complete object and then turning it into something else. Oh, somebody said hi. Who we got? The beard is looking proper. Yes, bro. It's pretty wild right now, that's for sure. I had a trim right before. I guess it was, January, February, March. I guess it must have been February or January. It must have been January. I got a new set of headshots with Bradford Rowan, and I cleaned everything up. Like, look at my face. Look at my. Oh no, it's not my profile because I have black circle up right now, of course, because Black Lives Matter, and not enough people know that or respect it. But if you look at my pictures, you'll see that I had it super clean right before this whole thing started, and then. Yeah, I mean, it's getting there, turning into something. But yes, the beard is looking proper. Thank you, Simon. I like that. Don't measure, go with the flow. I unfortunately have several failed projects because of that. Um, like I'll measure along the way for a little bit and be like, yeah, these measurements still work, and then I'll fucking change something. And it's like, oh no, I forgot to remeasure. But, you figure it out. But I appreciate that sentiment. Go with the flow. Like the flow state. My father would be proud of me talking about Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi and the discovery of the flow state and how to exist within it. There's always something equally compelling occurring at any given time. That's the idea behind flow, or one of the ideas behind attaining flow. I'm overly simplifying it. But the idea that there's always something equally compelling. And that comes from work with high-level athletes. How do you get an athlete to focus? Because there is something equally compelling going on. How do you make it important for an athlete um, to run on their kid's birthday, right? Because equally compelling, for sure, your kid's birthday is far more compelling than going for a run, unless you've managed to figure out how to get into that flow state. But equally compelling for me right now is spending my Saturday with my wife, gaming, playing, having fun, enjoying one another's company, which we'll probably do later, I'm hopeful. Maybe we'll stream a little bit of that. But that's my equally compelling right now. Actually, that's more compelling if I'm honest. But I'm trying to make a job out of this. So, looking for flow state. So we've moved on to, can you guys see that? Let's get TS action going on. Or, actually, let's do a little shot from over here. Good times. You can see my face. I'm so glad I did not define an action on that button because I just hit that button. It's a little button. There's like a single button on the top of the Migo. And I haven't defined any actions for it. Alright, so this frame is not going to be perfect. Seth, don't worry, we'll make perfect frames for you. Unless you don't want perfect frames. I think I'm going to cut one more of these. I don't like the angle I'm getting here. Yeah, one of these is too short. I know how that happened. Simon. Go with the flow. That's what I was doing. I was going with the flow. I was like, oh, I just need to take a little piece off so this connects. I took this piece and I sanded that little piece down. I was like, yeah, I did it. And then I lined it up, and it was this piece that I was supposed to fucking sand down. But now my frame doesn't connect. Surprise, surprise. That's okay. We'll do 3 out of 4, and then we'll get a real simple cut going again. And we'll fix it. That's okay. Corner clamps. I do have a corner clamp, but I've been having trouble with it lately. So I'm going to do this a little differently. Just use a straight edge, I think, to hold it in place. Let's bring that down a touch. I need a bigger workshop table. Sorry, every time. Yeah, it's like I generate this magnetic field that fucks with things. Usually works in my favor, but sometimes it works against me. I probably sound like a crazy person saying it. I'm okay with it. How is it that piece that's too small? It's totally that piece that's too small. Okay, that makes far more sense now. Don't use teeth. You literally have scissors right in front of you. Sorry, Mom. Just said I was going to use my straight edge. There it is. Gotcha. This is going to be a no-glove job. These framing nails are too small. I mean, I need them to be this small, but they're too small for me to work with those big-ass gloves on. Come on. Let's line up like that in this. So much for the straight edge. This is more an approximate labor of love by the looks of things. God, these are so small and finicky. So, because of my salvage wood not being the same thickness, trying to actually get these things to sit together is going to be super difficult. I had thought about using this cross nail. So I could tape this and then do it. I really need to use a piece of tape for that. I don't think I do. So one of my nails missed. See if we can get that out. Hey, look at that. We might even be able to reuse it. Ah, of course. You get small ones because you don't want the thickness being an issue. But then they're too small. And plus this is pallet hardwood. So what's happened? A little piece come out, which is just a little bit fucking annoying, if you ask me. So, trying to figure this out. I realize you can't see my face, so maybe you want to. My kids, that's really fucking annoying. And because it's an end-to-end as well, if you try to put glue on this, the basically the end of a piece of wood is like a sponge. So like down the side, down the grain, you could take the Elmer's wood glue and slather it on here, whack those together, hold that for whatever, or clamp it for however long the dry time is, and it would be like I would struggle to pull them apart this way. But the second you do it with end bits, you literally like stick them. You get real good about it. I've taped them. I've done all kinds. But the end-to-end stick, man, it just doesn't have the what? It doesn't have the hold that the broad stick has. It just literally the glue just gets pulled into the wood and has nothing to hold on with. So okay, so those framing nails are gonna be a little bit of an issue for us. So we're gonna piece this frame together a little differently. And I'm gonna use side supports. Side supports and some nails. I'm basically gonna put 4 corner pieces on this to hold it together. What shall we use? It's light. I got enough of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. I think we make that work. Just get a cut on over. Hope I remember to pre-drill this. I feel like it's gonna crack if I don't. Let's be smart and actually use the guide this time, shall we? Look up against the end. Guide lets you just whack out plenty of steps inside and think about it. Be smart about how you do it. Yeah. Slow and steady, especially with power tools. You should get that printed on a t-shirt. Slow and steady, especially with power tools. And on the back, chaos engine. I don't trust nails on this, screws on this, sorry. And I really don't like the way this framing is coming out. But I'm stubborn and I want to finish it with this wood. So I'm gonna. Seth, when we frame your stuff, we'll use real wood. Not that this isn't real wood, but you know what I'm saying. I'm curious about what you want to frame. Probably posters. Oh, this stuff for your Sunday movie club thing? Maybe that's what it's funny, man. My framer's nails are too small, so instead, I'm making my own framer's nails with a little piece of wood. So, in essence, like I said, these are too small. I like them, but they're too small. Somebody's messaging me on PlayStation. Somebody wants to shoot some stuff. Maybe it's Jennifer saying hey because he's seen me on Twitch. Where's my knife? Just checking in with our streaming buddies or playing buddies who I've started streaming with about what time we might play some video games tonight. I think we'll be doing Fortnite. Fortnite's off my PlayStations. I'm not sure I can stream it everywhere. I haven't figured all that out yet, and I can't spend any money on a stream card. So we'll see if it broadcasts on Facebook. It might not. I did think of this actually the other day, doing it this way, but I decided against it because I felt it was going to make the depth of the frame too big. But I've just realized I can put a chalk at the back for mounting for attaching the mount. So this is the joy of working with salvage. Over time, I get better at making the pieces of wood more usable. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and stuff. Keep coming back to that, Simon. I don't know if you're still watching. If you are, nice. Why does that go wobble to it? Oh, they all got a little wobble. Once it's all together, we'll kill the wobble with some glue. Yeah, that might be a little bit of an unorthodox approach. Maybe they do glue before. I should say most people do glue before. Oh no. Why not got any more of this? What? I had loads of this. That's a nuisance. Alright, well, fortunately one side of this might have a little gap. We can make this work. That's not the same. Okay. So, you can see the problem here. Like I talked about earlier, I took off too much in one piece. So we end up with a gap that's almost, that's a pretty conspicuous gap. It's like a half, it's a quarter inch. I have a quarter-inch gap up here. And as much as I'm like, hey, it kind of fits, I'm also like, that shit don't fit for shit. There's only so much space I'll allow in something before I'm like, no, it's not working for me. So we need to make more of this. I get to see what all the tools do. Gloves first. So we're going to be working with the vise to secure a piece of wood, which we're then going to plane down. Then we're going to cut down in width and in length to the size that we need. Just going to get a piece of wood to use. Again, the joy of salvage. I'm just glad I remember which wood it was, because I know that she got I've got a few of these. A nice dude I found on Craigslist was giving these away. He's giving away fencing posts. And I got there and he's like, I have these. You want them? And I was like, whoa. So this is this. Okay? Width-wise, it's that. So I've basically planed this down to get back to the wood and then cut it in halves or thirds on the side. So first things first, I'm going to mark off a piece a little longer than what I need so I have some space to work with on the vise. Guess who lost their pencil? Yeah, pencil. So just looking at this piece of wood, it looks like there's a decent piece on this side. I mean, planing it down, we're going to get the decent wood underneath anyway, but if you can avoid a nasty bit right off the bat, it might be helpful. Okay. There. Gonna do a circular saw on this one, because I don't think the cut's gonna fit on the band. Plus, the circular saw will rip through this much quicker than the band saw will. So I don't own a cyclone, which is a system that allows you to attach to all your different saws and otherwise to suck up dust. But I do own a rigid shop vac. It's a little bit of pushing. It fits. It doesn't have enough suction to pull up all of the dust, unfortunately. But I don't have $1,000 to spend on a cyclone, so I'll use this rigid. Noisy time. What? Oh, I should probably plug the shop back in. Good times had by all. Noisy time. Side of this has a pretty nasty crack, but like I said, I'm pretty sure I can get the piece that I need from here. So I'll slice this up. I'll probably plane off about 236. Is it? I never know. I have to look on the machine to get that right. Just above 1/24th, and I think I do 2 passes if I'm not mistaken. Again, more noisy time. I'm worried this whole piece of wood might crack further. We'll see if we can get what we need from it. Oh man, that bag is full. Keep your sawdust. You never know when you might need it. Plus, you don't want it running down your drains. It's just going to clog your drains. In fairness, so this thing chips. It feels more like chips than actual sawdust. And I say keep your sawdust because you can use it on uneven joints. You have to use it really well on uneven joints. It lets you fill it in and then just like you pack it with glue and sawdust. And yeah, sorry, I'm just emptying this bag. It's taking fucking ages. So yeah, you pack your wood almost like when you pack a wound, like those expanding sponge thingies they have now for rapid blood flow stopping. Kind of similar in concept to that. If you have a joint that's not like on point, much like what I'm gonna have on the end of this frame, if you want to pretty it up before you sand it down and paint it, chaos engine. You basically fill the whole thing with glue and sawdust, and then when you sand it down, it works in your favor. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see that wood cleaned up nice with the 2-pass on the plane. Yeah, she's nothing there. The plane didn't pick anything up. Oh, I know why. So, on the end of here, where we were talking about there being an issue with the crack, you can see that they're literally at a different height. So you come in to start on the plane and it's too high. It didn't connect on the plane, and then I didn't push down on the plane, so it only hit on the end. This is why I would really like a tabletop planer, because you just turn that thing on and run it through and it takes off your level and it stays nice and flat. This is just, this is what I could afford. There you go. Just need a little bit more off. I guess it's got a twist to the wood. So okay. So what did we find out? This is too short. Right? That's why we're doing this whole process over. I did a thickness plane for, not thickness plane, a thickness cut. So looking at it, yeah, that's still a significant piece there. So realistically, this whole side of the wood up here is not going to be usable. Not for what we're trying to do. Good split line there that might potentially make a good wand. We'll see. But I'm fairly certain I can get the half-inch that I need out of this left side without it being too much of a problem. So we're going over to the bandsaw. The bandsaw, I'm going to set my width with the guide based off of this. Lock that in. You said left side. stink that comes off of these old 2x4s when the saw's going through them is pretty intense. When you're using a bandsaw, I've come to know that you'll hear if it's going to screw up. You'll hear if it's going to be, like, if the, basically, if the cut starts to take an angle for any reason, if you don't have the guide in there and your freehand starts to get a little janky, your blade will make a really, like, squeaky noise, and then it'll stop. And it's just because the blade has moved too big of a distance for it to consistently give cutting power. So I've had a couple of instances, again, like I said, I'm on a learning curve. I had a couple of instances where it just stopped working and I didn't understand why, and that was the problem. It's really interesting. And marking up the diagonals. And she's gonna move it along these tucks on it, fuck that up. I swear every time I get this mark down, it doesn't work. There we go. I've already screwed this up once, so I want to cut it too big. Because I've measured it too big. Watch me screw it up and cut it down to size by accident. Not the flow. Yeah, as I say, not the end of the world. So I've still got like 8 or 9 of these of the same length that I can make loads of those out of. Not that I want to right now. I really like this cut to work. Angle cuts. Which way are we going? We'll roll it that way first. It's going to be about 45. I don't trust the 45 on this thing though. It's one of the other 45s I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust this 45 because I cut on it the other day. And then when I went to line shit up, it didn't work. And it's like, well, where's that on a 45? See, even looking at it, it doesn't seem like it's going to line up. And I don't know if that's because it's not a 45 or because the line I traced off of the thing that we're connecting it to is wrong. All I know is we're about to find out. Yeah, that's the other thing. I realized as well yesterday, instead of moving this from this angle to that angle, I flipped the wood after having remarked, and that's possibly where I lost like an eighth or the 2/8 of an inch that we have that we're missing to make up that 1/4 inch gap that we're getting. Live and learn. This time around, I'm flipping it. But see, I'm marking this on 46. Oh, but then it locks in. Weird, man. They give you an extra 2 degrees, but then when you lock it, I'm not gonna not lock it. That's just fucking stupid. Next time. Something is running out of battery. I think it's my headphones. My headphone. Thankfully, I'm only using one of them. So, is that still connected? Yes, it is. Hello? Yeah. My apologies for the noisiness of putting that headphone away. Are you fucking kidding me? No, that's fine. Approved. I'll make it work. It's a labor of love. Where's my hammer? Did it fall on the floor earlier? I'm pretty sure it fell on the floor earlier. Did I just found it? My neighbor's is building something. I see. It's probably just it's the car shop. Oh my gloves, my nails. It's because I'm thinking about why I don't have a glove on. I don't have signe on the other hand. Of course. It's a tiny little piece of camber on that wood. It's giving me some issue. But I think I can make it work. Yeah, that plane ended up thicker. From the back, this is not going to look great. Front, I hope it works. It's going to need a third on that one. Yeah, there's so much camber on these wood pieces now that I look at them. Um, but shall make something out of salvage. So sometimes you just do what you can. Two of these are cracked. Oh, they might. Yeah, I literally just split right in two. That's a nuisance. It's because of that metal screw. I should have called it. Yeah, nail even. I constantly get nails and screws confused in my mind. I don't know why. Cut a couple of these so we can actually mount that board in there a little more easily. Without having to glue it or nail it. I think this could work out quite well. That spider trying to build a web on me. What was that when it's at home? Piece of wood. We're okay. I'm sure I would drive some people crazy in their workshops, so I don't share my workshop. Where are the small nails? Oh no. Super small nails. What did I do with them? Right here. These nails are so small. I hate them. I don't know how to place them. There's gotta be a device that people use for this shit. I should add my brad nails. They're not here yet though. Oh man, I'm gonna get purple thumbs. I can feel it already. I just can't get the precision. Look at the size of these fucking nails. Like that's not even a width of my finger. How the fuck am I supposed to hold that shit? It's the nail size I need. It was fun having fingers. Okay, we're in the money. And my fingers aren't blue yet. It's literally, you get like that first tap, and if the screw will stand up on its own, get your fingers the fuck out of there. Simple rule of thumb. Yeah, I said it. Can be smart and put in a second on these. I'm holding them like this, so that my fingernails protect my fingers a little bit if I slip. Like I said, that's standing now, so my hand's out of the fucking way. Excellent. I swear, literally, these things are right in front of me and I couldn't see them. It's that blindness issue on my right side. And the ADHD. Nice. Like one hit. That's fun. It's like one punch man, but one hammer man. Ow. Or are you fucking kidding me? Might get a long one in there. No, that's not possible. Let's I like my fingers too much for this. What does that in there? Oh man, piece of wood slipped under. Just keep swimming, bro. Oh, this one's so much nicer. It's because of the size cut on that wood. I hate the fact that this is going to have a disclaimer when I give it to my wife. But there you go. Salvage. What? Man. That last piece that I cut, I was like, oh, it'll be fine. It's not being fine. Put the shim on the other side. Yeah, I think that's the option. Should we use that? Get rid of some of this glue. Left a low battery. So, I don't know why I have low battery. I'll plug it in. feel like I can tighten up this right corner. Might get under there. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Of course. I'm not having luck with this corner, man. Do the whole thing different. Oh, the camera on that wood is messing with me so much. Yeah, if you can afford the planer, like the tabletop one, get it. Is making these pieces of wood very difficult to work with. Got it. right side. Really far to me in the end. Always keep a glue rag handy. Like that. I'm sticking my fingers together with super glue. Okay. Half of the time the nail works out fine. The other half of the time, you need your fucking pliers to pull that shit back out. Chaos engine is struck. Can't figure out where the hell my pliers are. Good motherfucking day. This is ridiculous. I joke about having 5 tape measures. You need 5 fucking sets of pliers. I use the pliers to take a piece of wood, put a nail out of a piece of wood. What the fuck am I gonna do with them? Should I put them in my pocket? Oh well. They'll show up when I need them next time. Okay, that's it. It's crazy, man. You take ages trying to slow tap a screw in and then a fucking nail in, and you end up bending it on the last tap. Otherwise, you put it in like, just a little, and then you go, oh, fuck it. And it goes in one. Fuck you. Looking at this frame, all I can say is I'm glad my wife loves me. T's, 7's in the middle. I need a pencil on a fucking string, man. That's what I need. Pencil on a string and a pair of pliers on a bungee cord. 7 nickname in uni. There's several, but one of them is Bungee. I won't explain why. Janky, but I only need that much. So we're gonna cut that off real quick. Over here. Yeah, I was ready to split. Literally, I cut it there, and I got 2 pieces off the end without doing a cut down the middle, which is always fun. So many more nails than I thought I would use. Like I said, though, we're working with salvage, so nothing's precise. Literally, the camber on this top piece of wood is just what's created by gap. So, I suppose I could put a shim in and try to fill it. What that look like? That'd be a bad idea. I get a smaller shim though. I get these shims for free from a decking company. Yeah, that's a skinny bit of shim. Ooh, that's a skinnier bit of shim. This is gonna make the whole thing worse. I think it is. Like I said, I'm glad my wife loves me. That's a question. Glue in there. Clamping the shit out. Let's see. If my clamps are wide enough. So I'm gonna do the old double clamp. I ordered some new, bigger clamps, but until they arrive, do the old school. So can you see this? Yeah, if you don't have clamps that are big enough, just use a clamp, 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 to the clamp. If I throw a bit of glue in there. Actually, that's come up pretty well after the clamping. Looks better, guys. And gross. Oh, fucking glue. Oh, these things are removable. Glue. I didn't realize I had a glob of wood glue when I flipped it. Picked up some sawdust. I may give this one little pass with the sander when it's good and done. Or right now. I'm just gonna grab a framing hook. I think I've got some of those. Bear with me. I take you into the garage here. That means I gotta take the camera, the tripod, and you can still hear me. Got this box of like attachments for hanging pictures. And I guess I can find it. Right. Gotcha. So I have a picture hook kit. Excuse me. All kind of hooks and things. Even a wire. We don't need a wire on this one, is it? Well, I say obviously you could put a wire on it if you wanted. Realistically, just gonna put centerpiece with multiple teeth right there. The joy of my house, our house, is that that's a joy, not curse. A few people have lived here with us over the years. I've ended up with so much stuff that people are like, I'm going to Texas forever. Here's some stuff you can keep. You know? Or, yeah, moving back to Florida. Sell my TV. I finished raising other people's kids in this house. If you lived here, you know it. You're welcome. My wife knows it too. Fuck me. These things are even smaller. How many fingers you want me to not have at the end of the day? Fuck's sake. I don't know if I can manage these. I think I'm gonna say fuck it, use mine. It's tough because I'm trying to get it lined up, but it's also these tiny little fucking screws. Nails. Damn it. Never caught me between screws and nails. Try not to bend your hook mounts. Great advice, huh? Well, we got there, folks. This was, I started the videos about this the other day. I still got any of that wood left? No, I haven't. These center three pieces are cut from pallet. Piece of pallet, like this is a piece of the base of the pallet. So it's basically about cutting the pallet up and then thinning it down to three pieces that I can use a thickness of. Then printed by the Glowforge, or etched, I should say, by the Glowforge. My wife, my love, my special lady friend. Bit of Lebowski themed wedding. My wife is my special lady friend and always will be. Now she's got a sign so people know. Alright, I think that's the woodwork for the day. I also haven't actually had any breakfast, lunch, or anything of that nature today. So it's time for coffee, bite to eat, and to give my wife her new sign. Thanks for watching, folks. Not sure how many of you there were, but I appreciate you. Danny stream time, gaming, cooking, woodwork, DJ sets. Subscribe would be much appreciated. On YouTube, on Twitch TV, I'm Danny_Pooks. That's DANNY_POUKS. If you could follow me on there, I'd be really appreciate that. I'd be really appreciate that. I would be really appreciative of that. Just trying to figure out How us entertainers are supposed to make a living these days. So I hope this has been entertaining and informative. And if you got any projects you want help with, Seth, I hear you about your framing. Promise the framing for your stuff will be a little better than this. This is salvage wood. We'll figure that out. There you go. Something similar to this will be up on my Etsy within a week or so, but not this one because it's my wife's. If you have any custom signs you want made, get in touch. Good times. Bye, folks.